There we go. All right. It's Thursday. It's just after 11, which means it's time for another episode of the Ascend Business Show. Today, we're going to talk about how to unstuck yourself in your business and win the day, win the week, and win the fourth quarter. We're going to get right into it right after this.
Power to pay. Power to pay.
All right. Welcome to the Ascend Business Show. Good to see you. Here's my co-host, Bill Walton. Good to see you, Bill.
Greetings, James. Greeting, everybody.
So we're going to get right into things today because we've had a lot of experiences with a lot of folks in the marketplace, some clients, some conversations in the last week where there's just this angst of feeling stuck around whether it's your promotion, your lead follow-up, some of your marketing, maybe some sales follow-up, all because, and we're talking whether you might be the business owner that's still doing this or the C-suite that's still doing some of these activities, or even if you're the top producer, there's this level of being stuck because usually it's from just this overloaded schedule that you're on and just a frenetic energy that you can't really settle it in. So we wanted to address that today.
Yeah, I'm thinking, we've been talking a lot about this over the last couple of weeks. The thing that comes to mind for me is permission. Giving yourself permission, right? We're in the fourth quarter, and it's very tempting to, in the art of being busy and keeping yourself feel like you're organized, is to do a lot of administration, right? This is the fourth quarter. You got to really think about, is what I'm doing right now the best thing I can be doing to advance my business? So give yourself permission to, any administration, any forms, right? That if you can, again, I want you to all enjoy your weekend, but selling hours is made for selling hours. And we only have, how many days left, James? 72?
I think we're at 72 today. Yeah.
72.
Yeah.
Left in the year. And, of course, you've got holidays that kind of creep in, believe it or not, we're upon them. So that's number one. And then number two is a laser beam focus around your why. And that's going to have a tangent to messaging.
Mm-hmm.
This is the point where you're going to sell reasons to meet, reasons to converse. I've been thinking about you. We need to talk. So that's the second theme that I'm thinking of. And the third is what you've made famous is lead stacking and connecting with individuals. So I would say lead stacking is 3. And number 4 is a little bit of pipeline management. So I want to make sure we talk about these kind of 4 things. So giving yourself permission, lead stacking,
Mm-hmm.
Messaging. And I talked about one other point. Help me out in having a senior moment. The 4th point was
we have give yourself permission,
right?
No, getting reacquainted with your why.
The why, correct.
Why. Yep. You're dealing with we'll get into the 4 stages of business that we need to look at to help you get focused.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically stage 3 and stage 4, which we'll tell you what that is in a second, of why you want to spend your time there right now. So those are the really big areas that's going to help you feel unstuck. Because really what it is just, it's kind of with that slow down to speed up, activity. You're moving a mile a minute and you just need to pump the brakes for not that long, just a little bit to kind of get recalibrated here so that you can recast and say, all right, 72 days, we are sprinting, but we're laser focused. And here's what we're going to achieve. And here's why we're going to achieve it and why that's important to me, which is so, so important.
And that's important, James, for a couple of reasons. Most often what happens in the fourth quarter is we're all kind of looking at our pipeline and thinking about our bonus and saying, oh my gosh, I'm a little short. So then all of a sudden we're doing all the business development activity that we probably should have been doing 2 months ago. And because of that kind of rush and that urgency and a little bit of energy around it, it tends to sound and feel tactical and transactional. And that manifests in messaging. It manifests in trying to sell something too soon versus selling the meeting. So it's worthy of the time to think about it. And I'm looking at a couple of things that I think about is when we're going to talk about prospecting and some lead generation for the fourth quarter. But one of the things I'm mindful of in the time we have with everyone today is what can we do that you already have the ability to do that's easy and valuable. So if we could, James, I'd love to go to the pipeline management piece.
Yep. Let's go there.
And the theme of the pipeline management piece is doing what's closest to the money first. So, and if you're with me, and I'm going to have the folks come along with us and say there's typically 4 stages of most everyone's pipeline. And I'm going to go from 4 back to 1. I'm going to count in reverse. So the 4th stage is you've submitted a proposal and you are either waiting for a decision or you're negotiating fees, prices, investment, what have you. But it's not yet closed because it's still on your pipeline. Once you sell a deal, it comes off the pipeline. So that you want to focus on your 4s. What remains? What comfort can you add? Oftentimes the comfort is not about the number. It's executional details. Hey, we got you. We shoulder the burden of administration, enrollment, the get ready process. And we've got, or a lot of the clients that we work with, James, as you know, typically their client is shifting from another competitor. So there's the transition factor that always raises a question. Oh my gosh, do they know us? We're going to have to educate another firm and the systems are going to have to change and we're going to have to fill out a bunch of forms. And hopefully that's been addressed in your proposal and you want to take that off. But there's always a reason why. There's always a reason why something is stalled. Always a reason why no one's gotten back to you. It could be, hey, I've got to socialize this internally. It's all about comfort because you've laid it all out there. They've got the numbers. We've had the conversation. Now it's the follow-up has to be around comfort. So that's stage 4. Stage 3 is you haven't gone to proposal yet, but you both have talked about a need, have shared ideas, and you've tested options around potential solutions, and you've gotten some good feedback and spoken words from the prospect. You might have put forth something, hopefully you put forth something of what I call is the proposure. Really, it's kind of the proposal without the money. Acting as if, portraying as if, showing as if, and trying to get some agreement to go to the next step. And this is also a comfort sale. You've been diligent. You left no stone unturned. You've been masterful and wonderful in getting us to meet all these wonderful stakeholders. I feel like we know your entire organization. I'm glad you got a chance to meet ours. I'm glad that you checked our references and testimonials and had a chance to speak to some of our current clients, and they were a good resource for you. Our team is jazzed and fired up and ready to go. And we love to be bold and kind of move forward with what it could formally look like together. And we're going to go work on that. Because the client is not thinking about you all day long. And that might be an ego shot, right? They're managing, they're doing their day job, right? So sometimes we have to work creatively to bring us without being too annoyingly persistent, is to keep things top of mind, in front of mind, so we can advance to that next step. And oftentimes clients or prospects don't realize how much we've accomplished together. So that's 3. Those are your 3s and 4s. You want to work those in the fourth quarter. But the 2s are pretty good too, because if you're at stage 2 with a pipeline item, that means you had an initial conversation and you might have had a second conversation, or where the compass is pointing is that I'm going to get you some more insight. We're going to talk more. We're going to go more deeply. I'm going to introduce you to more people, right? We're going to go deeper into these issues. It's pointing all in the right direction, but you're just not there yet. So in terms of your time, you want to take a look at the 2s, and that's really administrative exercise to just sell the next meeting. Sounds great. Hey, I'm looking, last time we talked, you wanted us to come over to your local office and meet some of the leadership there. Just wanted to send you 4 or 5 potential dates. Just send it there. Or if you really want to be bold, hey, I thought I'd cut out the to and fro. Here's a Zoom link. Here's a calendar link for our next conversation. Feel free to shoot me a note if you need to adjust. And more folks are appreciating that. You want to accelerate the meeting process, sell the meeting, get the
Right.
meeting, and be bold. Let them tell you no. Let them say, oh gosh, I'm really not ready. Well, why did why are we, no one's wasting any time now, right? I'm engaging with you
No.
because I'm interested.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, people don't want to waste time. Here's the truth is we're all really busy. That's why we're talking about this today. We're all really busy. I mean, I've heard it from everybody. I think we're more busy today than we were even before, the pandemic. I think the virtual environment's actually created more productivity demand from all of us. And we're just calendared out from Zoom meetings and all sorts of stuff, internal meetings, client meetings. And so, if they're not interested, there's some signs to tell that that's the case. But we're
Yeah.
talking about still kind of folks that you're talking to that have expressed some interest, but you're just making it easier for them to give you some feedback because they're busy and they don't have time to go to their desk and sit down and think about how to write you an email or craft you a voicemail. Like they're too busy for that. So,
Well, what I'm learning, James, and I know you are too, is that our clients and our prospects and our colleagues are getting smarter too about how they use their time. We've given ourselves permission to work in bursts. And, we do as part of Ascend's, training capability, our kind of lunch and learns and our supplemental programs. We have a program called Energy is the New Time, which is about energy management, outweighs and outsells and outperforms time management because you have to put we're all, as a salesperson, you have all competing energies. It's a different energy when you're writing a proposal. It's a different energy when you're meeting someone for the first time. It's a different energy when you're completing an account plan and reviewing it with your team. So, and the sleep research from 30 years ago by Nathan Kleitman is really powerful. Nathan posited that, hey, we all work a 90-minute burst of energy that needs to be followed by anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes of rest or unfocused time. So you can plan your bursts. I guess that's part of this kind of, give it your all in the fourth quarter is not just say, yeah, go get them, everybody. It's, our brand, Ascend Advisors, is all about the how. Is think about the 90-minute burst that you can schedule for yourself throughout the day. Then, hey, if you want to take the 45-minute lunch to an hour, maybe take a peek at Netflix, fine. But you just had an amazing 90-minute burst that you might have got a little fried, but you had it done and you can plan when I'm going to do my proposal writing, when I'm going to do my social media, when I'm going to do all the things that Bill and James recommended, right? You plan for that. Plan for the burst, not the slog.
Yep.
And that's different. Let me pause here. Go ahead.
No, I mean, you're so dead on. So like when we're talking about this, I can't help but think about, I'm currently doing, if you know what this program is, it's called 75 Hard. It's a transformational mental toughness program. You do a lot of working out, but you do a lot more than that for your ability to execute. But there's so many tasks, critical tasks that I have to do in a day. Not a lot, like 8. But I've found that if I have a power walk for 45 minutes, some of my tasks are reading something, doing some visualization exercises to help me focus on where I'm headed. And I can do multiple tasks within that 45 minutes, very focused. And so that's another thing to consider too, is how can you truncate some of these things that are out there and consolidate them and get them all done, maybe even in the same focused session of time, whether that's a half an hour, 45 minutes, 90 minutes. And now you've just gotten half of your list done for the day in a very short period of time.
Well, I think we always, and this is, there's no wrong answer here, and this isn't punitive. I just think as human beings, we often associate and project an energy and an amount of time on something that I'm finding is often grossly overestimated. Oh my gosh, I got to go, rewrite that proposal, and that's going to take me 3 hours, and I'm really nervous about it because I need to close the business. I found myself in those situations, and you think about it. Oh my gosh, I'm going out to dinner with the family, and it's 5:00. We're leaving at 6:30, and like, okay, I got a little time pressure here. Oh, okay, that one grid. Oh, that pricing, yeah, that language. Okay, boom, I got it. It's amazing where that inspiration comes from when you have to.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. Hey, what can the biggest thing to think about is your time in between bursts or time in between calls and what you're doing to leverage your time. There's I call it the 3-minute, 7-minute, and 11-minute time breaks of there's things that you can do when you've got that extra 3 minutes, right? You can
Mhm.
send a follow-up email. You can draft a handwritten note. There's these little mini bursts of little activity that you can do. And oftentimes you just got to realize like, oh yeah, that's right. That's not going to take a lot of time.
Right.
I'll just
Well,
copy
that's
and
just
paste
it.
the other email and modify it. So we project often wrongly how long and how much energy something's going to take, and we just kind of snap stuff out and give ourselves permission to do it rather than having that extra cup of coffee, which we probably don't all need, is to, get some of those little tactical things done. And it builds your sense of accomplishment.
Totally. Absolutely. And where we've seen this come into business just in the last 2 weeks, guys, we've seen this too for us. We're talking from our own experiences, right? From internally at Ascend, and even with some clients that we're talking to, where there's just this big feeling of anxiety and stress around, oh my gosh, I have so much to do and I'm behind and I don't even know when to pick this thing up again because I'm doing all this other stuff, but I know I need to do it. It's that important stuff you need to do, but you
Yes.
never get to it, and it's like, how do I even tackle this? Because it seems like a mountain. For example, we have we get help a lot of clients do lead generation, and we've been very successful with that. And the problem isn't, for a lot of people, it's not getting a lot of leads coming in. It's about actually spending the time following up with them and doing something with it to move them into some great conversations. And that's where people feel so a lot of times stuck. It's like, man, it takes so much energy that I don't feel like I even have to slow down and actually do that. And so we talked internally with ourselves and even a client last week about this and said, listen, forget that you have 100 or 200 leads out there that you haven't talked to and followed up on. Just go in and pick 3 or 5. Just pick something super small that you're like, if I could talk to anybody, it'd be these 3 or 5. And just do that. Just like Bill said, in 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you could probably figure out how to talk to those 3 people and you get it off your plate. And you had moved a really important task forward now. And now you may have even cultivated a conversation that you really wanted to have anyways. And now it's really happening. And now you're excited and you feel good and you're moving the business forward. So that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, let's build on that, right? Coming back to our brand in terms of the how, can we talk about the messaging piece of that, right? We want to, if you're working your fours and your threes, and you are trying to make these connections with individuals, and hey, we need to talk. I want to give you a messaging framework that can help you sell more meetings and sell the right interactions as you close out the year. So I want to give you the framework, and it's a 3-part framework. So if you're ready, and if you have a pen handy, write this down, or if you have a much better memory than mine, I'll just leave you to that. I call it the I, what, you statement. I meaning I, me, what, you. And here's how it goes. The I piece is who you are, what you do, your title, and the problems you solve and the needs you address. That often gets left out in messaging, and you're seeing people start to add that to their LinkedIn profile.
So
I'm not
say
just
it
a
again.
vice president.
It's who
It's
you are,
who I am,
Yep.
my title and role, and the needs I address and the problems I solve. So that's the I.
Mm-hmm.
The what is what you do and why clients value your involvement in their business. That could be the collective you, meaning you and your organization, you and your team, you and your partner. The what, this is what's often missing, the credibility statement. We are providing solutions for heads of sustainability in chemical and manufacturing companies looking to reduce their carbon footprint. Clients such as blank, blank, and blank work with us for our ability to help them create their sustainability journey, because they often don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And they value that partner in our thinking. So they rely on us heavily for that. And I thought you might be interested as a head of sustainability working for a blank, blank company, because I know that folks in your role are looking for and often struggling with options to provide to management, because sustainability has become a strategic a pillar of a business strategy, which is a great thing. And I thought we could have a discussion around that. Think about that was just totally off the cuff. It's like, I'm not just some vice president or some salesperson calling you. I'm an individual. I have a title and role, whatever that is, but I'm a problem solver and I address needs.
Mm-hmm.
And so much so that in the what is what clients rely on me for, and the type of clients we work with and why they value my involvement and my engagement is. And then the segue is to forget about me for a moment and my clients. Let's think about you, why I thought you
Right.
might be interested. That
Right.
reflects that you know that position, you know their issues, you know that industry, you know that space, you know those trends, you know that company culture, and you know what the networks they subscribe to are saying and what's on their agendas because you can be fluent. That's how you sell a meeting. That's how you advance an opportunity. Because I will tell you, I sit with buying teams all day long. And oftentimes they'll sit in front of 3 proposals. Wow, this proposal is great. Look at that fabulous technology. That's really tech rich. That's really jazzy. That's wow. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's proposal number 1. Proposal number 2. Wow, look at that price. Boy, that's a good
Yep.
deal.
Sticker shock or deal of the century.
That's right. And
Yeah.
then the other proposal is it's different. They actually pick it up and hold it and say, this is different. They know us. There's some of our thinking in here and some better thinking in here, and it's connecting to the business. So
Mm-hmm.
you want to start that trail early because that's how buyers are deciding today.
Right. Well, that's right. I mean, they want to know really at the end of the day, who can solve my problem the best? And really, it's usually all 3. Usually before the sales equation was you can pick 2 of 3. You can pick quality, you can pick speed. I'm forgetting the third one right now. But
Technology, compete on the
technology, yeah.
technology.
But you usually couldn't get all 3. But now clients are pretty much like, I want all of them. So who can do all? I want it now. I want it the best, and we need to get the results immediately. What can you do for me? That's a
But
tough place to play.
here's the reality, and James, I want to dish this off to you because this is kind of how you and I started working together, and I've been very impressed in how you do this. The tendency, though, is once you know that and you're feeling all good about yourself because I can create that I, what, you statement and I've done my homework and I've got my insights ready to go, you want to be mindful not to lead too soon with product or a solution, particularly in social selling and social media platforms.
Yep.
Unless you've earned the right for that connection, earned the right for that conversation. James, maybe I dish that to you because you that's what you taught me.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point here, guys, with the getting a fast conversation now is actually counterintuitive because what people usually go to when they think I need to get a sales meeting today, I need to get a conversation now, I need to close a sale today, they go straight to product pitch because they just want to get to the end. But you can't go there yet because your audience is not ready to discuss that, and they don't trust you, or they don't know what you're about, or you don't even really know if that's what they need. So you don't know if you're going to land the plane, and you don't want to crash. So you gotta slow down to speed up, and that's where we're talking about framing it right, and just show them like their business, but you got to invoke their engagement. So that's where you got to ask them the question. You got to ask a question, right? You have to ask a question about that particular area of business to get their input. You're gonna know in seconds if you're on the target, because they're gonna say, wow, this is exactly what I care about, and I have a lot to tell you about that. Actually, what can you do for me? Because here's what I'm experiencing. Perfect. That's the conversation we want, because now we can solve a problem because you're telling me about what's going on. That's the conversation we want.
And the best way to do that, it's a formula, and not to throw too much at everybody, but I was just thinking of this. There's a formula for doing that. I call it prime, then ask. What do I mean by that? You're priming the conversation. You're acknowledging an issue, bringing forth a hot topic that you believe is front and center of plate for that prospect, that stakeholder, and then you're asking a question about it. One of my favorites is if I'm working with a senior level financial professional, for CFOs, for example, a lot of our clients call them the CFO, or they're part of the touch parade, is I'll just ask, how do you do it? And I'll smile. How do you, in this organization, manage and balance the need for fiscal control and a fiscal prudence and being mindful of expenses, balancing that against the need to grow, the need to innovate, and the need to continue to preserve and have an active footprint in your marketplace, certainly given social media, digital marketing, how everything's happening in light speed, and what's trending was 5 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm.
you can make a meal on that conversation.
Yep.
Um,
Because you know
I
what?
had a CFO tell me when, and this is a gal who had been a partner at one of the large accounting firms, and she had come over, was kind of a last 5 years of work. She's going to be a CFO for a large hotel chain. And she laughed and she goes, when I figure that out, I'll let you know. And it was so funny because I know that, she was in her 60s and at the tail end of her career, and she'd been very successful. And that was her answer. So prime and then ask. And because that stimulates curiosity, because most people aren't doing that. They're asking for a meeting over email. They'll, hey, let's connect on LinkedIn. Oh, P.S. by the way, I sell blank. Want to buy some?
Right. It's just people have not been taught. People don't know how to communicate. I mean, it's real. It's people just don't know how to communicate effectively online. And it's if you think about how you would talk online, it would help you a lot, because you probably wouldn't say certain things the way you go about online in real life. But this is real life, and you just have to remember you're talking to a person through that screen. So
hey, James, let's do this. One of the things we're pledging to the audience is to keep these pithy and hard hitting and sharp. Why don't you direct folks to our website and some other goodies that they can get as we close out today, so they can kind of get back to work and start implementing some of the things we talked about today?
Well, this is the first one. So you see that scrolling across the screen at the bottom. If you have not gotten this yet, we share this all the time. It's
focus, people.
Yeah, it's a lead acceleration kit. It's called lead stacking. All it does is it's a 45-minute exercise you can do whenever you want, and it will help you in a moment recognize all these little places that you've had really good conversations like we're talking about, that you could stir up right again immediately and go from cold to warm. And there's some people right in that memory jog that probably want to do business with you. You just forgot to call them. So get that download. It'll send it to you right away if you text the send at that number. And that's a free goodie from us to you. The second thing is, if you'd like to just talk to us more about some thoughts on your own digital marketing or sales, feel free to visit us at our website and schedule a call with us. We'll do a free audit with you on your marketing and sales process and give you feedback. And we want to help you win. We want to help you win Q4. Have a great end of 2021 with 72 days to go, and get ready for a huge 2022. So we'll be back again soon. This was it was good to see you again, Bill, and a really important topic. Let us know, folks, how you thought about today's topic and what that made you think of. And we'll see you next time on the Ascend Business Show.
Good selling, everybody.
All right. Take care.